Hi, everyone. Welcome to the call. I'm so excited tonight. We have Jaime Messina from the Dream Team on. She's going to be talking about confidence, which I think everybody could use some form of boost, whether it's confidence in your business, confidence in yourself, anywhere that you could use it. I think you can take it and apply it. So it's going to be pretty awesome because she's awesome. We're going to do top 10 for Revelation Fitness before we get started. So we want to give a huge congratulations to the top 10 on the team. Bianca O'Brien, who is on this call, is at number 1. Brittany Cooley's at number 2. Amy DeSanzo's at number 3. Courtney Brock is 4. Ashley Burr, who's on this call, is at 5. Jennifer Terry's at 6. Amanda Abergino is at 7. Whitney Knight is at 8. Ashley Dascalas is at 9, and Kristen Richards is at 10. So it's pretty awesome. It's based off of 3 different things: your successful points, coaches signed, and PV for the week. So it's pretty awesome. Some high pointers on there. I don't have any announcements for you guys, except that if you're going to Summit and you're in the Summit group, make sure you check out the video I posted today of what to bring, what you're going to need, so on and so forth. So if you have any questions about that, comment on there. Otherwise, we'll hand it over to Jaime. Miss Jaime just went 2-star official, right? 2 weeks ago, which is huge for her business because not only does she get the 2-star bonus and she's growing a team, but she also gets to open up a second her. That's a big job with 2 stars. Congratulations on that. And we will turn it over to you, Miss Jaime.
First of all, can I just say something? I went and bought those clear backpack things.
Oh, I know.
And now we don't even need it anymore.
I know.
What's up with that?
I have one too. It says Beast Women on it, and I think I'm just going to use it anyway.
Right, yeah. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and this will be good practice because maybe I won't look at my notes, and I'll just go with it.
Yeah, just go with it.
A little bit. All right, so let me share. Am I allowed to do? Oh, yeah, I can do that, right?
You can screen share, yeah.
Okay. So I'm not going to be able to see you guys, but so can you hear me well? All right.
Uh-huh.
I live on a main street, and there's like rap blasting outside. It's not mine. So my whole thing is, how many of you guys get nervous about posting on Facebook or feel like, you know, when you post on Facebook that you're going to annoy people and that kind of holds you back, or at least makes you feel like nervous or something like that? Hopefully a few of you, because that's kind of what this is about tonight. Or just in general, you know, sharing your story. It's kind of scary. I know that that was my biggest fear ever, was posting about what I was doing and sharing, because I thought it was going to annoy people. And it was because a lot of times my closest friends were like, go eat a cheeseburger. We're sick of hearing you talk about this and that and everything. And it kind of, anytime somebody said that to me, it kind of like threw a wrench in my wheel, and I just stopped and was like, all right, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But so tonight, I just want to tell you guys a little story about why that changed for me. And because it was like light switch, light bulb, whatever, as soon as I just figured out this one thing. And that's kind of what changed my whole confidence as well. But you guys didn't know me before, so I got to tell you a little bit about my old self. And so very different person in these pictures. So I had some serious social anxiety. I still do, but you know, I've dealt with it clearly, because things like this. So I'll tell you guys a little something. When Melanie first had Dream Team calls, I think there was only like 20 people on it. It was on like that old instant presenter thing, so you didn't have to see each other. I wouldn't go to the calls because I was afraid. You could just see your name in the right-hand column. I didn't even want that. I was afraid she'd like ask me a question or something. It's not even like I just type back, but for some reason, that's how bad my anxiety was. My best friend Liz, we would go shopping together to buy clothes, and I'd give them to her at the end, and she'd have to bring them up to the counter and pay for me because I didn't want to interact with that person there. I took Fs in several college courses, which are very expensive. Because I didn't want to do a oral presentation in front of the class. And one of those classes, there was only 8 people in. And I tried to do it. I tell you, I tried to do it. And when I got up there, my throat closed, and I sat down, I left the room, and it was super embarrassing, but that's what happened. I never really wanted like attention on me and, you know, all that stuff. I had like zero self-confidence. And the way that I got self-confidence was by drinking a lot, because I was able to talk to people. My social anxiety went away, but I was a huge jerk when I did. I would like black out and do dumb things. And, you see the picture down there. I was like proud of the fact. The only thing I was proud of was that I could take 5, 1 3/4, and I could take 8 tequila shots and not die. And I could kill like 11 beers and not feel drunk. Like that was something I was proud of. But I don't know. At the same time, it helped my anxiety, and that was how I was dealing with it. So basically that, I started doing Beachbody, and that began to change like my confidence a little bit, because you guys know how it is. You start losing weight, you start getting muscles, people start to notice, and you get a little bit of confidence, but nothing crazy. You're just feeling a little bit better. So I was really excited to go on this Success Club cruise, where I think I met Kaylee there. I think I was scared of her for some reason. Probably my self-confidence issues then. But so I was getting ready to go on there, but I didn't know anybody. I'd never met Melanie, Kaylee, anyone. I just saw their pictures online. All I knew was that they were very different from me, or, I was very different from them. And I wasn't really going with a friend or anything. I was going from somebody in my downline who I didn't really know. And it was major anxiety for me. Did not want to go there. I'm like, oh my God, they're all like moms, blonde sorority girls, and I have a hat on backwards, and they're not gonna like me. Like, it was like fear going through me. But around that time, I also had absolutely no idea what my why was, and I was just kind of like posting and throwing darts, and people were, annoyed by me. So a couple days before that cruise, or leaving for that cruise, a friend of mine actually committed suicide, and I gotta switch my slide here. So that, like, it was horrible. She worked with me at a bar, and she was the bartender, and she was always happy and smiling and always asking me about Beachbody, always asking me questions and commenting on it. Whenever I posted on Facebook, always liking my posts and everything. And it just really surprised me. And then I had to go on a ship and have no internet service. And, I didn't get to go to the services or anything because they were in another state anyway. But I just basically had all the time in the world to sit there and think about it, and to do my personal development. And so that's what I did, because I didn't really know Melanie and them. And, I kind of just hung out by myself and read and thought about my friend committing suicide, and, what that meant, and all these things. So, like I said, I didn't know my why when I was there. But when we were there, Kaylee, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a channel in our little rooms, and it was Beachbody all the time. And it wasn't like infomercials, but they had like all interviews that they did with people, and one of the people that they were interviewing was Brigitte Linford. And so I was in there for some reason. I don't know. It was the 30 minutes. It had to have been fate. I believe in that. Just the only 30 minutes I was watching TV was on this Beachbody channel, and Brigitte Linford came on, and she started talking about how she had been severely depressed, and she was actually hospitalized because she had tried to commit suicide. And, I don't know what else she said, but a lot of things that kind of clicked in my head. And then how, now she's doing great and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, maybe because I had felt like that before. I had felt like I wanted to commit suicide. I was low confidence, social anxiety, dealing with things by drinking. And I hit like a real low, which is what ultimately made me join Melanie's challenge group, which made me become a coach. But I had never actually admitted that really out loud to myself or to anyone else. And I definitely didn't talk about it in posting or blog posts or anything like that. But then, when I heard Brigitte say that, I was like, that's interesting. What if I had been more vocal about how this had changed that part of me? Yeah, it gave me, I lost 30 pounds and I have muscles now and everything. But the big change in me was how I felt inside. I was actually happy for once. I smiled and meant it. I wasn't faking my smile. I actually couldn't stop smiling at sometimes because I was so happy. And it was a complete change in my life. So it was a big wake-up call, like, what if I had been more vocal about that? Maybe that would stop her, you know what I mean, from doing that. Or at least stopped her maybe in that night. Had I posted something that night, I mean, I don't know. I can't sit here and say that I could have stopped this girl from killing herself, but I could say that in the future, I could maybe reach somebody else by being more vocal and sharing and not giving a crap what anyone else is saying or worried about me posting. So the reason I'm telling you this is because that woke me up. As soon as I got home from the trip, I wrote a blog post about how I kind of, you're never really 100% over depression and social anxiety, but my life has completely changed and I don't feel like that's an issue for me whatsoever anymore. And I relate that directly to Beachbody and everything that Beachbody has done for me. So I talk about that a lot now. And the minute I came back, I wrote a blog post about it. And that one blog post in one day got like 500 views, and I was averaging like 10 views a week of my whole blog. So, I started opening up and being real about it, and people were loving it, and they were loving my honesty. And I got a lot of personal message and text. Like as soon as I shared that, they read it, and just really good feedback. So you guys need to share as if you're saving somebody's life, because you really could. Had I not found this opportunity, I have no idea where I would be. But I don't want to know, because there's a pretty good chance that I would either be dead, in jail, or, probably in like a rehab clinic or something like that, because I was just drinking my life away, and just doing dumb stuff when I was drunk, which could have, killed me or somebody else. And that's just the truth. And I got to face it there. So I haven't looked at my notes yet. Hold on a sec. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about people's news feeds real quick, and what you're posting and why you shouldn't be worried, because it was worrying me, and saving somebody's life made me change that. But I was scrolling through my news feed, and I should have sent you guys the video first. In the same like scroll of the mouse, I saw one guy's bloody toe, a big picture of it in his bloody toe, and he's talking about his foot hurts or something like that. And then in the next thing, some guy was showing me like his gross heel thing that he had going on, and I'm like, if these people can post about their bloody feet and gross, nasty feet, I can post and be positive and share what I'm doing that's making other people, myself and other people, a little more motivated or happy or whatever. And the same thing goes for, political rants or just complaining. Facebook news feeds filled with negativity, which you might not notice anymore, because when you're a coach, that kind of disappears for the most part. But it is. The average person wakes up, and the first thing they do is they open their phone and they scroll through their newsfeed and see negative post after negative post. And Facebook actually did a study, which is a little controversial because they didn't tell us, where they tracked, basically they showed some people all negative things and some people all positive things. And then they tracked, I don't know how, but they tracked like how the rest of your day went. And it was found through their study that people who saw negative things in their newsfeed were on average more unhappy than the other people. The other people were happier. So that right there is another reason why you should not care what anyone says. If you're annoyed by your stuff or whatever, they can, they don't have to follow you. But I would rather any day of the week have something positive in my newsfeed, even if it's, a tip on how to eat healthy or just doing something, than people's bloody feet or political rants or complaining about the rain. I don't know. I know those things exist already. I don't need to hear other people complaining about them. I'm trying myself not to complain about them. Okay. So I just, sorry, I went on a little rant there. So that was really kind of my story, the light bulb that went off as to why you really can't care, what you're posting, and you just got to be you and share that and not worry, because it kind of ties into confidence here, because I wasn't sharing who I was. I was afraid that potential customers or other coaches on the dream team or whoever were totally going to judge me and not like me for who I was. So I wasn't being myself, and that was coming out in the way that I was sharing, because I wasn't being real. And that's a huge thing. You got to be real. You got to be proud of who you are. And more recently, I've been more of myself, and I've realized that since I've done that, my likes have like tripled. And so that's proof right there, just in the numbers, that when you are yourself and you're real, that people like that and they can tell when you're not being real. I think you'd be surprised. I was surprised at the people who supported me when I started to be real and honest about who I was and what I believed in and stuff like that. It was insane. I just wasn't expecting that. I was making judgments in my own head because I was self-conscious and not confident. So I wanted to tell you guys what I learned and what kind of helped me build this confidence now, because I don't know if you just heard, but one of the speakers at this Dream Team recipe thing is me. I was asked, hi, And I'm speaking on confidence, which is insane because 3 years ago I had absolutely zero confidence. So clearly I did something over the past 3 years to change that, to be asked to speak, about confidence. And I would tell you right now, I wasn't born with it. I wasn't one of those lucky people that, just walks around I was always in the back of the room hiding. It was something that I learned, and I learned from Shalene, that confidence is a muscle that you can build. And the way that I built it, I'm going to share that with you. And specifically for Beachbody, the first thing I learned is you can't be salesy, which I'm sure Kaylee tells you all the time. You don't want to just get out there and share things from T25 and stuff like that, like the post from, I used to share Melanie's posts with her link in it. I used to share them from her page onto mine and say, hey, join this challenge group. Melanie's link to her thing to buy the thing was in there. I didn't change anything. Obviously, nobody was following me or buying through me, because even if they wanted to, if they clicked the link, they went to Melanie. So you just got to be you. You got to share yourself. You got to share your own journey, how these products are working for you, and be real about it. And you don't want to be this like cheesy sales guy right here who's like, hey, buy this thing, I think the picture says it all. Does it? Thumbs up. All right. Because I want to move on, because this is my favorite part, and this is the biggest part, I think, of building confidence. This is what did it for me. I know there are 3 vital behaviors. I think that this should be number 1. Other people will disagree. They say invite because it's said 3 times. I think that personal development is number 1, number 2, number 3, and then the rest are 4, 5, 6 or whatever, because this is what it's all about. If you're not growing as a person, you might as well just, you're going to stay the same. And if I stayed the same, if I didn't grow as a person, where would I be right now? I wouldn't be on this call. I wouldn't be, moving forward in my business. That's for sure. So I made personal development a priority. Like, it's on my list. I have to check it off every single day. And it has to get done. And that's basically, I can say that that's what made me a more confident person. Specifically, the Shalene Show. If you have podcasts. So I don't know about you guys. I was never really good in school. When people talked about doing personal development, Melanie would be like, read this book. And I'd be like, I hate reading. I'm not doing that. Like, I had no idea that little purple button on your phone, on your iPhone, was a podcast thing and you could listen to it. No idea. Had no idea. Yeah, best thing ever, because now I listen to personal development in the shower. I listen to it in the car. I put headphones on when I'm vacuuming. Anytime I can listen to it, I listen to it. And the Shalene Show has great podcasts specifically on confidence building. I listen to that same 1 or 2 shows that she did over and over and over whenever I'm feeling doubt in myself, because obviously for everybody it creeps back up. If you're not actively doing personal development and working on yourself, it always creeps back up. I will replay that same one over and over because it is so helpful. So check that out, guys, if you can. Also, The School of Greatness by Lewis Howes is great. And thanks to Kaylee, I listened to this awesome Life Point Church thing, and I listen to that all the time too, which I was super afraid of religious people. I grew up in a Catholic household and church, and they just weren't very accepting of who I was, and that scared the crap out of me. And I assumed that all people who were religious were going to feel the same way. So I was actually really scared of Kaylee when I met her. And I told her that she scared the crap out of me. I automatically assumed she wasn't going to like me. But she pointed me in the direction of this Life Point Church podcast, which is absolutely amazing and has opened my eyes to religion in a whole new way where, I don't feel the same way that I did even just a couple months ago about it. So those are some that you should listen to. And for books, You Are Badass. I love that. It's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. If you read it, I read it like I thought she would be speaking it. And I was like, I wish this was a show that I could watch on TV. It's really good. The Success Principle is a good one. And then Jab, 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 Right Hook. If you want to get more confident in your social media presence, that is a great book because it helps you to learn how to be native to the certain platforms. And that's what it's about. And that's kind of how you're going to make things happen there. So biggest slide on my whole thing tonight is personal development and working on that and finding the areas you need to improve on and finding things, books or podcasts that are going to help you in that sense. I knew I needed to work on confidence. I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere in my business or in my life if I didn't grow my confidence. So that's what I did every single day and I continue to do every day. So there's that. And then also, I already talked about this, but you got to stop trying to hide who you are and start being real, because people can see right through it. I think, they were like, oh, Jaime, that's awesome. But they knew I was hiding something, and I knew I was hiding something, which was holding me back. I was at Diamond for over a year, just chilling, not really attracting anyone into my business or anything. And I really believe it's because I wasn't being 100% me, and honest with my audience. And now that I started doing that, I'm attracting people who are like me, and they love that part of me. So, and I would think that I was going to have people write negative things to me, and I haven't faced that yet. So I don't know how. Maybe they're just saying it behind my back, but if they are, who cares, right? So, yeah, there's that. Be real. Personal development, be real. Don't be salesy. Personal development, and personal development. And then stepping out of your comfort zone every single day, specifically and especially on Fridays, because Fridays are Fearless Fridays, and it's a good excuse. I always tell everybody who's on a call with me and I talk about Fearless Friday, you can blame it on me. Say, hey, Jaime made me do this Fearless Friday thing, so here I'm doing it, ha, 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 and then do it. And once you get feedback from people and realize it's not so scary, you just keep going with it. And every Friday, every day I try to do something that makes me uncomfortable, but Fridays are the big ones. I've done so many now that I really don't know what to do anymore. Like one of mine is to walk into Starbucks and start singing like a show tune because I don't have any normal ones to do anymore, because they're not scary anymore, Anyways, one thing I wanted to point out to you guys too is that there is no such thing as being fearless. There is no such thing as the absence of fear. Everybody has fear, but the difference between people who are going to move forward and grow their confidence and grow in the business are the people who feel that fear and then do it anyway. They feel the fear and they say, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to jump off that cliff like that little bird there, because everybody feels fear. I don't care who you are, you're going to be afraid. So my assignment or whatever for you guys is, because tomorrow's Friday and all, it's Fearless Friday. I would love for you guys to do something that scares the crap out of you and do it on social media and then tag Kaylee and myself in it and talk about it. Blame it on us. Hopefully it will get some people asking you questions about Beachbody or whatever it is that you're talking about, coaching or something like that, and open some doors for you guys. But you can totally blame it on us. Yeah, there's that. So I don't know. I had like 100 pages of notes, but since I just winged it, I don't know if I forgot anything. So I'd like to just open it up to you guys and have you just shoot some questions maybe that I can answer for you, if that works. And don't tell me you don't have questions. You guess.
So before we really open it up to questions or anything, I took some notes. First of all, I like the Fearless Friday idea because I do believe that, especially new coaches, they are very timid about what to post and when to post it, and they're very geared towards the ads, like a 21-day fix picture or something like that, and they need to step in front of the camera instead of sitting behind it. So I do believe, there's my, hey, Jaime.
Hey, let's go.
Okay, we're recording.
That's my dancing partner.
So I do believe that. So I do want everybody to tag, if you're not friends with Jaime, I'm sure she won't mind a friend request, to tag her, but tag her or me. But you had talked about personal development being your number one for the 3 vital behaviors. And something that came to my mind while you were talking about this was, although Beachbody has put into place the 3 vital behaviors as number 1 is invite, number 2 is being proof that the product works, and number 3 is personal development, I believe that every coach has a different order. Because some coaches may not have a problem inviting, so that might be number 3 for them. But I believe that as a coach, you need to take those 3, look at them, which one you have the biggest issue with, and make that number 1. So, Jaime had an issue with confidence, so she knew that her number 1 thing had to be her personal development. She, and then from that, her invites would become better, and her, being proof that the product works would become better. So you need to do a lot of self-evaluation and figure out what it is that you need to work on the most and make that number 1. Just because Beachbody numbered them for you doesn't mean that those are your priority. So I do believe that.
I think, yeah, self-evaluation, that's a good word, because that's what it takes. You have to be like real and honest with yourself. Like, I don't want to sit there and be like, I have zero confidence of drinking, it didn't feel good to admit those things, but it's also empowering at the same time to be like, all right, now I'm going to do something about it. And I'm going to work on these things to make myself better instead of using excuses or, whatever. I never had confidence. I never will. Yeah, no, you can build that. You have to work on it. You can work on anything and become better. Nobody just comes right out of the womb like really good at everything. I don't care what they say. You have to practice. You have to build on the things that your weaknesses and admit them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe that same thing. But another thing is like stepping out on these calls, like you said yourself, when you weren't even on a Zoom call, it was instant presenter, didn't even know you were on, like you didn't even have to put your name, you could make something up, like literally. I could Haley Hennessy from my kitchen, like, because it was supposed to be from one, so, but you didn't want to do it. So the same thing with these, like there's a whole bunch of black screens, and it's just stepping outside, because this is like the comfort. Like you need to, if you're not comfortable here, you're not going to be comfortable with people you don't know. This is how you get to know people. So I know like a lot of people are timid to ask questions on calls and, all that kind of stuff. That's how you learn, so you have to be able to step outside of that. And something that Jamie just mentioned about, moving forward and using I can't because I don't have the confidence in this or whatever, that's the difference between a successful coach and an unsuccessful coach. When Jamie had no confidence, she was not moving in her business. So you would deem that as unsuccessful. But when she worked on her confidence and she developed those I can'ts into I couldn't, so I did X, Y, and Z so that she could become more confident, her business started taking off. She's now 2-star, so just taking, an unsuccessful coach that will end up doing nothing, it takes the I can'ts and it stops at that wall. But a successful coach will take those I can'ts and climb over and move on and figure out what they need to do to get around it. So yeah, I think that's very big and very important. I know that I've made a video on that before, so I just thank Jamie for retelling everybody the same thing I already did.
The whole fail forward.
Yep.
Fail forward. And that's the thing. If Melanie said back in the day, oh my God, I should have been 2-star faster, I'm going to quit. Like that's seriously the difference. There's the difference between, it's not like somebody was born like this awesome, multi-level marketer. They worked on it. And when they failed at one thing, they tweaked it a little bit and they kept going. And I forget what's that guy's name?
Jonathan Maxwell?
No, he's like a really loud, buoyant public speaker, but he says you're always 1 millimeter away from success. And when you're golfing, you swing and it goes way over to the left. And then you move like 2 millimeters to the right and it's go way over to the right. And then 1 millimeter back and it's perfect, hole in one. It's that simple. It's tweaking and keep moving forward and changing things and working on things until all of a sudden your recipe works and you just, have the best meal ever.
Yep. Totally. We could do Melanie's training right now. Like, look at us go.
Right.
Does anybody have any questions for Miss Jamie?
And you can type them too. I get it if you're scared.
Yeah. If you're not on there.
Oh, hi, Bianca.
Yeah, Bianca. She doesn't have any confidence issues. She's like.
Yeah, I know.
She's Brazilian. It's all good.
I love Brazilians, by the way. They're my favorite, nationality of people. Like,
look at that baby. I mean, look at how free.
They're always so beautiful. They're like the hardest workers I've ever met in my life. I love them as people.
We love you all too.
I do, but I love Brazilians. I think that's all I had. I mean, hold on, I did have a lot. That feet thing.
Yeah, how many weird things?
I have one little story I forgot to share. So one thing that personal development did for me was give me a tougher skin or whatever, because like I said before, if somebody said something negative about my posts or, somebody canceled something, I would let that bother me for weeks, and it would affect everything else. I totally lived in Florida for 10 months, and that's where I met all the Brazilians. We worked together. But anyway, so I let that bother me for a really long time. But through personal development, I think it really toughened me up, and that was super important. So, and the reason I actually realized this was a couple weeks ago or a month ago. Some girl tagged me in a random post where this girl was complaining, saying she really wishes she could lose weight. She always gets to a certain point, and then she said she works out more, eats less, and she always hits a plateau. And somebody tagged me in the post and said, "Hey, Jamie, can you help her out?" I said, "Sure, if she wants." I can already tell by reading that, it's really not about working out more and eating less. It's about eating the right foods and, just getting a workout. And if you want to contact me, whatever. And she was like, "Jamie, are you a doctor?" And I don't know if she really said it like that because it was on Facebook, but in my head she did. And I was like, "No, I'm not a doctor, but I've helped, I'd say over 100 people reach their health and fitness goals. And I myself, over the past 3 years, I've really dedicated my life to studying about health and fitness and nutrition." And she said, "Right back when you're a doctor, I only take advice from doctors." And normally I would be like, "Oh, no way." But I was like, "Sure, all right." And I said, "When you talk to your doctor, let me know what they say. I'd love to hear if they have something different to say." And then I also posted the doctor's video with Shakeology, and I posted that, and I said, "You might find this helpful." And that was it. And then I forgot about it, and I didn't care anymore, except I do talk about it on calls. But it didn't bother me and get under my skin. I kind of just use it in a positive way, spin it, fail forward. But I think that personal development helps you kind of toughen your skin, because you really need to have a tough skin to deal with everybody. Sorry, there's something driving by. To deal with all the feedback you're going to get, or people, giving you crap. I know everybody and their mom used to tell me to eat a cheeseburger, or, try to do this and that. And it used to aggravate me, and I'd get mad. And now I'm just like, well, and those people all came to me for help eventually years later. No lie. So there's my rant.
It's hilarious that you just said that's how you thought that she said it, because how many of us do that? Like, oh, you know what she just said to me? But it literally does not have that tone. I don't know.
You could have been genuinely concerned if I was a doctor or not. But yeah, so that's another thing. Remember when you're on Facebook or whatever, that you don't necessarily know how somebody's tone is through text or, but I think she really was trying to be rude.
She could have. But there are other people who are not.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing what personal development can do. And a lot of the top coaches, if you sit down with them and talk to them and you ask them all the same questions, it's all going to lead back to that. You doing that is something that is only going to help you personally and your business. So
even if it doesn't help your business, it's going to help you grow as a person and lead you in one direction or another where you're supposed to be. I believe that God has a plan, and we have a purpose, and we're kind of living it out, and to reach our ultimate goal and to help whoever along the way. And maybe that's not Beachbody. I mean, I'd love it to be, and I'm going to keep moving that way. But I honestly believe that even if it wasn't Beachbody, the personal development part and doing that every single day is what is going to help me get to where I'm supposed to be. So,
yeah. The one thing I want to add in about confidence is having confidence in the business aspect of it, and in the products, the programs, and the people who stand behind the company, like our CEO. So if you don't know anything and you're a new coach, make sure you do your research, make sure you know what you're talking about so that you can talk with confidence when people ask you questions, because it does portray through even text that you're confident or not, If you act as if you are a 10-star, you will achieve your 10-star. If you act that you are elite, you will become elite, because you'll be portraying that professionalism and that confidence in your business and in yourself. And in turn, it will help you reach your goals. So
you just struck up a thought in my head.
Oh,
Shakeology. Have confidence when speaking about Shakeology. And I didn't. And so here's the thing. I would first talk to people, they'd be like, "So what's this Shakeology?" And I'd be like, stuttering on my own words. It's like the shake, and I don't know. I have it with coffee in the morning and whatever. once I changed the way I spoke about it and just very matter of fact and knowledgeable about it, I have rarely somebody tell me they don't want it. And one way you can do that is by checking out Shay Stanford's YouTube channel. Just watch a few of her things there, take notes. And what I did was I created like 3 to 5 sentences, the same basically elevator speech. When somebody asks me what Shakeology is, this is what I say. I know exactly what I say every time. I say, you know, in our food these days, we're really just lacking the vitamins and nutrients that our body needs to thrive, at its maximum potential. And that's because, you know, we're eating a lot of processed food and whatever. I have this little spiel, and I practiced it over and over so that even my delivery of the way I say things and which words I emphasize and stuff like that. Because that, when you're saying it confidently to people, you could sell like a box of poop to somebody if you talk about it in the right way. You know? Yep. If you're confident that this is the best box of poop ever, they're going to buy it.
Yep. It's amazing. That's why, like, there's some people on the team that I say, you know, can sell a bag of Shakeology to a homeless person. You know, a homeless person that doesn't have $130, but their confidence in this is so selling that, you know, they can get them to buy it. So it's just, Shay Stanford does have a very good YouTube channel. She is extremely knowledgeable, and we are so very lucky to have her within the team. As far as for information and stuff like that. So utilize it. I know I've been watching, and a lot of coaches who come into this business who are doing very well right off the bat have been searching YouTube. They have been watching videos and things that they're like, okay, I don't know how to invite, so I'm going to go watch YouTube videos on this. Or I don't know what this product is, so I'm going to go watch some YouTube videos on this. And I've noticed that the people who are successful in hitting their Success Club goals and hitting their ranks or whatever, right out of the gates in the new business, is the one common theme is research. And it's just building their confidence. Truly.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry. What was that YouTube channel you said?
Shay Stanford. So she spells it S-E-A-Y, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, S-E-A-Y. Yeah, Stanford.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, guys. You don't need to know everything because the tools are out there. You don't know something? Great. Go figure it out, you know, and then answer the question as if you do.
Yep. So I have a new coach that signed up, and before she signed up, she did every type of research on Beachbody. She went on YouTube and she was watching people who used to be coaches who quit to find out why they quit. You know, mm-hmm. So she did her own set of research, and she's come into this business more knowledgeable than any other coach that I've known because she's done her research. And I have a new coach who started, who within a week and a half of her business, she went Emerald and hit Success Club 10. And I asked her what she was doing, and she was saying, I've been watching YouTube videos. I've been doing, you know, X, Y, and Z, and learning what she possibly can to move her business forward. So as long as you have the willingness to learn, you're going to have the drive to move forward. So constantly be learning, go back to the sponge age where your brain is a sponge and absorb it. That's what I did. Honestly, when I first started, I went, Jimmy, I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if it was there when you started, but the Coach Online Office, the training academy, you actually had to sit in front of it and answer questions.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it would do like 5 minutes, and then you have to stop and answer questions for PowerPoint. I literally went and I printed off every single piece of PDF that they had, and I put it in a binder, and I studied it. And that I contribute that to why I took off.
And that's the difference why Kaylee was successful right out of the gate, and I wasn't, because I was guessing on the answers just to get through it. It was so boring for me.
Oh no, I did that too.
I didn't go print anything off or go back and look it up after.
I guessed on the answers because I wanted to get through it, but then I went back and I printed them all on it.
Yeah.
But yes, do the research. I'm telling you, it works. It helps tremendously. I had confidence in selling Shakeology for 2 months without me even trying it. I never drank it, but I sold it because of my research. So it's big. Build that confidence, and it's huge.
Yeah, and I think just know that no matter what, I put some pretty dorky posts out and stuff like that, and it doesn't matter because I'm like, at the end of the day, I could just laugh about it with my friends. Like, I'll message Kaylee and be like, oh my God, I'm such a dork. Go look at the post I just did. I said that to her the other day. It doesn't matter, like, who cares at the end of the day?
Yep. Anybody else have any other questions? No, everybody's quiet. All right. Well, Miss Jamie, we will let you go. Thank you so much for
Thanks for
hopping
having me.
on and talking to us.
Awesome. All right, guys, we'll have a good rest of the call. And don't forget the Fearless Friday. Friend me, tag me. I'd love to see it. And there's a little competition going on between teams because Nicole's team, I had Nicole's team do it and Michael's. And they had some pretty good ones. So, you know, I'm going to be looking. I think you guys could beat them.
Nice.
Just
We can.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
All right.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Does anybody have any questions for me? No? Okay. Well, then I will let you go. And this recording I'll post in the team page under the file section. So you can always reference back. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message. I want to see those Fearless Friday pictures. Okay? Bye, everyone.